that Adobe is like the Walmart of editing tools.
Ooh.
They're
The people that I'm giving the brand to don't understand the brand as in depth as we do. Attention to detail for designing is the most important thing to focus on.
You know exactly what
You did that on purpose, didn't you?
But I think
I'm
so
going to tell you
too.
why I disagree.
I think so too. Simply just because we've been automating things for so long. Why wouldn't it?
No,
Because
that's
there's only
not a good
certain-
enough reason.
Why-
Like some
wouldn't
things
it?
But it's like everybody like has one, regardless. Now we all have this vehicle, right, where we can curate and put together how we want people to view us, like you're saying.
Welcome back to the Content Parlor. I'm your host, Dion. We are here at Content Parlor Studios talking about marketing insights. We got the team from Stable Gray here. We're going to get into it. But before we get into the full episode, make sure you go out on social media and follow the Content Parlor on your favorite social media platform at Content Parlor. That's our handle. And if you want the latest and greatest, the full episodes, follow us on YouTube. Make sure you hit the bell notification icon. That's how you get the latest updates. And if you want the goodies, we give away our pillars of value on social media. So you'll want to be sure to follow us on both or you'll miss out. All right, let's do some quick introductions. We've got some of our core team here. So let's go around and just kind of introduce everyone, and then we'll get right into it. I'm Dion, co-founder of Stable Gray. To my left,
Teddy Young, co-founder of Stable Gray.
Avion Barnes, intern.
Tara Pierce, brand designer.
brand designer, changed her whole title. Interesting.
Yeah.
Nah, she does do that though. So yeah, we're excited to talk about our insights from 2024 and 2025 today. We haven't done an episode just talking to the internal team in over a year, I think. It's been a long time since we all
probably
got
around
together.
But
This
it's been
same
since
time.
the pilot episode.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
the first two episodes were kind of just us chatting it up.
Yeah, it's been a minute, and it wasn't, definitely haven't done it over here.
For sure.
Nope.
Yeah, this is
Look
way
at the
better.
past videos, the set looks a little different when we were doing that.
Yeah, we've got a bit of construction going on around us, so bear with us as we're part of development and construction. That's a good thing, right? So you may hear some background noise. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this episode. The main topic today is marketing insights. So let's just start with 2024. We've all been a part of the AI revolution, the AI shift. It's impacted the work that we're doing. Everybody, I'm sure, has something to say about AI. Let's refrain from AI for this first question. As you look at 2024, and we'll go around, we'll do ladies first, but as you look at 2024, what would you say is like the biggest lesson from a marketing standpoint that you've learned for this year? Or we'll say two. Okay, we'll give you two because I know one is probably related to AI.
Well, I know she got some answers, all the content she's been pumping out.
Oh man, I feel like I've been pumping out content left and right lately. Gosh, lessons. I learn little lessons all the time. Like as far as like, I don't know. I was talking to Teddy the other day, and I was like, man, this is rough. And I learned a hard lesson on something, but do you remember what it was?
No, I was thinking of how I was going to answer the question. Not thinking about how to help you answer yours.
I know. I'm like, what was it? Because it was really good. Like I learned a really good lesson out of this specific situation, but I can't even like put my mind on the project right now because, I suppose I can focus on. So lately it's been based on, everything I've been doing is based on branding. And as I was driving to work in my car this morning, I've been reviewing the year as far as the brands that I have developed in this last year, which
Yeah.
there actually have been quite a few.
Yeah, I've
Sure.
really picked up at
Thinking
the-
about like how I can put my portfolio together for, 2025, just for myself to review. Okay, I started here with Sparkle Firm, right? It was cute. And I did this little one pager that was like white background, had little squares on it of like all this stuff. It was very empty. The design was appropriate for the situation, but as I've grown throughout the year, and the lesson that I've learned is the people that I'm giving the brand to don't understand the brand as in depth as we do. So I really need to lay it out with specific direction on how to roll out each part of the brand. So we've developed a brand guide that's got probably 25 pages. Now it varies from client to client on whether we use all 25 pages, but there is specific direction, like one page is an entire mock-up of a website, and it explains like, this is how you lay out your main header, this is the type of font you use, this is your subheading, this is your body copy, this is where it goes, this is, it'll tell you specifically with your color scheme for your primary colors that you need to use 60% of those colors, that you need to use 30% of the secondary colors, and an accent color should just be in some sporadic places to pop here and there, right? And we don't want to use the word pop because, it's not great. So, as far as like the year has grown and the lessons I've learned is concerned, is that attention to detail for designing is the most important thing to focus on.
Detail.
Detail.
That's good.
Right on.
So, Avion, you're the only one here that has started this year and kind of grown in your internship, and also the only intern here on the panel. What's been a lesson that you've learned from a content creation marketing standpoint for 2024?
Yeah. I was listening to Tara talk, and definitely attention to detail stood out. That's not what I was thinking at first, but that was a very good answer to that. But I would say kind of just being patient with it and understanding that there's not really a rule. Like, there's not like one set way of doing something. So I think patience and understanding that originality is also what's in too, like just being yourself, or if it's a business, being okay with like, oh yeah, this business is unique within itself. So I would say that is like patience, consistency, and just being yourself, whether it be yourself or just your business built on whatever, principles and values you build your business on. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah, we're going to come back to like what's trending, but there's a lot to unpack there. Teddy, what are you thinking?
Well, I think they touched on two things, but I thought I didn't have anything, but I guess I already had built out my content for the end of the year. But this was like personally, but as I look at it, I feel like it applies to business as well. So there's three things out here. Run your own race. Comparison kills progress. So as a business, as a company too, right? It's like, you can't get caught up where other agencies are and what other agencies are doing. You have to really hone in on who is a part of your team, everybody's skill set, because I feel like that's what makes each company or organization unique, is the people that you have, the synergy of those that are working together. And also it's like, you know, setting our goals and our plans and not letting, you know, what's happening, you know what I'm saying, on the outside to a certain extent, like take us off of that path and what we set out to do. The other thing is small, consistent steps. Always beat short bursts. So it's the work every day, right? It's making progress every single day. That's the work. That's how you get it done. You have that big goal or you have that end goal. Sometimes we get lost in looking at that and focusing on that when the things that you do, the habits that you do, the processes, the work that you do every day leads to that. So remembering that. And then, your network and relationships are, your network and relationships, you know. At the end of the day, behind brands and organizations are people, we're all people. It's not just this logo or this building. Sometimes when you hear the name of a company, that's what you think of, but it's individuals, it's people. But definitely in this business, relationships matter. People do business with people that they know and they like. Just because you have a certain skill set or know how to do the job, that's just a given, right? That's a given. You should know how to do it and be able to do it, But people need to see you, They need to know that you are a part of the community, even when you're not in the room, right? It's having people that can say your name when you're not in the room. Tim Clark taught us that as the king of connections. But yeah, those are, I would say those.
Top 7.
Yeah, what did I get? You said one thing, didn't you? Bro, I never say one thing. I can't do it.
I think it's excellent. I actually, at least 2 of those were similar to what I was going to say, but especially the relationships part. I 100% agree with that. I would add to that the component of social proof. The importance of having some social proof. I think that credibility is linked now to social proof. You can be an expert in your space and folks still don't trust you and still don't think that you are who you say you are unless they see social proof of it. And that's a good and a bad thing. It's a good thing because you can break down legacy relationships. Folks working with people that they're familiar with by showing social proof. So it allows you to kind of move at a pace that without the social proof you wouldn't be able to move at. The bad part is that you could be really, really good at something and still not have doors open for you. Or have people not want to be associated with you because they don't know you or they don't know that you're as good as you say you are, right? Especially in our space because the majority of the work gets done behind the scenes. What we do is not sexy, right? We try to make it sexy, but
it's not.
I mean,
Speak for yourself.
the person doing it is separate from the actual activity. All right, let's clarify.
Yeah, but the work that you actually do, it's repetitive.
It's not glamorous. And I think, when you break it down, we can dress it up as much as we want, but it's kind of boring what we do. If you're an observer of it, it's like, okay, there's nothing happening.
Oh my gosh, I must be a nerd. I think it's so exciting.
Well, if we didn't love it, we wouldn't do it, right? But the social proof adds the public display. It makes it cool. It's like, yo, these cats got it going on over here. I can't tell you how many times I've been kind of invited to do things just because folks saw something else I did with somebody else. And so that's the second part of what I was going to say, which is be happy and do things that make you happy and show that to the world, because that's giving your best energy to the world. And that's not just a social media thing, that's just in general. When you're doing things that make you happy, you're going to attract happiness to you, right? So just doing something because you think it's going to make you a lot of money could lead to unhappiness, right? If you're not in the right frame of mind while doing it, that can attract a lot of negative energy
Should
to
be
you.
a byproduct.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so all good insights. Take notes.
Yeah. Well, the same. What
Yeah.
is to go back to what you're saying? We're talking about, like, it's like what people don't see is all the editing when there's changes, right? What it takes to make that change. Like, it's like, can you do this and that? And you're like, yeah, we can do it, but you have to go through every single. That's the stuff we're talking about. That's the work, though.
Yes, they never
Right.
know what it
That's
actually
the not
takes to
sexy
make.
part of it. Not what
Yeah.
you
The
made.
change.
That's great.
Right.
Yeah.
But when you got to go make those changes, and you have to change all these different things just to get to that.
Yeah, because
It is.
there's
That
like
point.
1,000 layers, and they want, like, say you're doing an illustration and they want the expression on the face changed. Well, sometimes you have to start over.
Right.
Yeah, that's what
videos,
I-
right? It's like, oh,
exactly.
can you change the music?
Like, bro, I added your video to
Oh,
the
you want the
music.
whole video
Right.
changed?
It's like the beats per minute different. Okay, all right.
That's the stuff we're talking about,
Yeah, yeah,
Focus
that
out.
is not sexy.
So as we unpack that, that's exactly where we're headed next. And this one could actually be a little controversial, and that's okay. All right. Treat this like a water cooler talk, right? Pretend the cameras aren't here. Let's talk about the real stuff that goes on with clients, right? The things you can't say to your client. Let's talk about that for a second. So as we look at 2024, there's been in every relationship, right? You have good moments and bad moments. When we talk about these pain points, these things that you wish clients could understand about the process that they're going through, right? You just talked about what it means to change the music in a video and how that affects the timeline. What are those things that you wish you could say to a client related to, like, helping to produce a better outcome, right? I'll go first, right? So you talk about something like a photo edit. Editing photos has become almost like AI magic to people. It's just like, oh, well, remove the blemishes from my face. Just put a filter on there. Or, I don't like the wrinkles in the backdrop. Let's take that out. Right? Those things take steps. You can't just click a button inside of Photoshop and the image is magically fixed. To some degree you can. And there are some actions that you can take. But when you're dealing with a specific problem, that highlight reel that you saw on social media that said, that sped up a 1 hour long edit into a 30-second
highlight.
post is not accurate in terms of the work that it takes to edit a photo.
Right.
Right. So that's one thing that I would share with clients that I learned from this year is, like, editing photos at billboard quality. It takes a lot of work. There's a reason why photographers can charge $5,000 for a single photo that shows up on the cover of Vogue magazine.
Right.
Because there's hours of editing that went into that one beautiful image. So Avion's grinning over here, so I'll go to him first. What's one thing that you've learned that you wish you could share with clients as it relates to, like, hey, this would help me do my job better if you understood this?
Yeah. It's like I got a whole list in the back of my head. Like, but I think the most important thing is the communication part, and this is probably relatable on all aspects. The clearer the communication from the very beginning, usually the easier it is from my experience. And like the more detailed as well too.
Yeah.
I'll just pick on the music situation because it happens a lot. And right, because for me, when I'm editing like a video, whether it be 30 seconds or a minute or a couple minutes, I'm like trying to tell a story. Like I want people to like feel some kind of way when they watch it. I'm trying to like get some kind of emotion out of it, whether it be like a really heartfelt thing or like excited, like I gotta go be there. So what being like detailed and really specific does for like us on our end is make that picture a lot clearer. And that's what avoids like a lot of like the hard edits, like when we get asked for a music change. Not only is it like if I'm editing to like the beats per minute, that completely changes the whole video,
Right,
but
the
also
timing,
but it also changes like the story too a little bit too, So that's like one thing. But now if you think about that, like with I learned like very early on in the internship about like color grading, and that would change the whole mood of the video too. You can make things cooler to make things maybe a little more sad or like mysterious, or you can make things warm to make it look happy and exciting. So it's like little things like that really do help. I feel like creatives in general in our whole process, like making a video or taking pictures, because like not only that too, and I was just talking about the editing side. Like a lot of us wear multiple hats too. So we're out there actually taking your pictures and recording your videos. So we have to capture it a certain way as well. So like all those things come together. So if it's anything that I would say is, I understand like we're a part of like and it's like when I say it, we're a part of the process from the very beginning. It's like, of course you guys are, but we're literally thinking about these things when we first start out making a video or taking your pictures, like, because it really starts when we hit record or snap the picture, or even start a graphic, So that's what I would say.
Yeah, and I feel like that's going to be a general theme. So I'll just throw it out right now for all the clients out there, past, present, and future. When you hire an agency, you're hiring them as a consultant first. So if you don't trust that their process is going to produce the result that you want, you shouldn't hire them. And that's, I think, what everything we're talking about and everything we're going to say, it hits on that.
Yeah.
If you hire them, you're hiring their process, you're hiring their way of producing it, you're hiring their methods, you're hiring the software they use, their thought process. That's what produces the result, right? The content parlor looks the way that it does because we went through a process to make it look like this. You don't see the hour before we started filming this to set it up like this, right? So there's a process that happens that produces the result that you want.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I was going to talk about. I can't get away from it. It's just like that very thing, trusting the process. And for us, I can't speak for every agency, but truly, the organization's business that we work with, we really do care about what they're doing. We feel really good about what they're doing. We feel good about their mission. We believe that the product or service that they have is going to be beneficial to the community, and we want it to work. We want to get that message to them. Now, we're never going to feel the same way you feel about your organization, but trust, your success is our success, right? And we think about the goal. Now, our process have been refined over years, right? We've been in this for like 8-9 years. And so we've learned, we've worked with different organizations, different businesses. We've messed up. We've succeeded. We're taking all that experience and knowledge and refining our processes, right? And that's how we get to the process that we have. It's not a random thing. It's not something that's just been thrown together. And so that's why we like to start with a goal. We ask the goal. They may say they want a website or a logo, but we say, what is your goal?
What's your goal?
Because that might not be what you need. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So it's
Preach it.
It's a collaboration.
Right.
We work together. No, we don't just do everything, and we don't want to just do it. We want the input. We want to work collaboratively, because there's things that you're going to need to do, and there's things we're going to need to do. But at the end of the day, we ask you what your goal is, and trust me, we are thinking about that goal. It is not an emotional thing. It's not because we just like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It's based on
We chose that
research.
music because we chose this specific platform. We chose not WordPress, but JavaScript because of your goal. We chose the colors for this logo because of the goal. The reason why it looks like this, because of the research we've done, because of the brand workshop that we did, the input that we got. You know, what we've seen going on. So it may not look the way that you thought it was going to look, but trust
It looks
us.
better.
But trust us, it's in alignment with your goal.
And so one thing I want to say on that is what we're saying here is not audacious, and it's not all that crazy of a thought, right? When you hire a carpenter, right, you're trusting that carpenter's craftsmanship, right? They're working on your house.
Yep.
We know you care about this house. It's your house.
Yeah.
But you're hiring the carpenter for his technique, for his method of laying it down. You hire the painter because he doesn't roll it the way your 6-year-old daughter might roll it, right? And when we hire specialists in almost every area, we trust their process. But for some reason in the creative industry, the client thinks they're the expert oftentimes, not always. When we go to the doctor, we don't question the way the doctor does the diagnosis, right? Now, some of us do. I'm sure there's some patients out there that they feel like they know
They're
what's
like,
going
I
on.
saw this on, what is it called, WebMD or something?
Right. But for the most part, we trust their process, and that's all that's being said, right? Is to respect the process, because when you wrestle with that, because I feel like there's some self-fulfilling prophecy that happens, right? It's you don't trust the process, and then you get a bad result, and then you say, see, these folks don't really know what they're doing.
Right.
And you messed up the process, which jacked up the flow, which jacked up the end result.
Which is part of the point that I wanted to make.
Right.
So I'm going to turn it over to Tara.
Right. That's how we do it all the time, right? We look at our process and we see what wasn't done. That's how we identify the problem, and that's how we fix it.
So these guys have made really good points on this. And it is in that trust, because we have been educated in this field. Many of us have degrees. Many of us have spent years developing the craft. Many of us have been, since our childhood, creatives, exploring imagination and wonder and curiosity, right? Our entire lives are packed into this. Let me emphasize that. So trust us. But what is now, these guys have said, like, kind of like on our side, like what we need, but what we need from you as a client, and the point I was going to make is like, we may help you define this goal in the beginning. We may have our consultations. We may have our brand workshop. You get to give your input. We take your ideas and your inspiration, and then we do the research and the data collection and the surveys that go behind that, and we take that true data and we take your vision and we take what we discovered in the brand workshop and we put that in to the creation of the project, it is not what we want. It is coming from what you want. And where you could help us the most is in giving us thorough, respectful critiques. So, say we've developed this, since we've been doing branding lately, we'll just stick with the branding thing. We've developed this, oftentimes we start with the logo direction. So we'll give you 3, maybe 4 versions of a logo based on all this research, brand development, everything that we've intaked at this point. And we give you 3 options. We don't want to just hear, oh my gosh, it's great, we love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
We do want real
We love
feedback.
compliments.
We do.
Compliments are great, right? We
Yeah.
want to know our work is good. But what I want to hear is like that detail on this type of font. You know, this sans serif font. You may not know the term sans serif. So say on this bold, thick font, this detail here, I'd like it to be a little more exaggerated. I'd like it to be a little less give us detailed instruction on how to make the changes. Saying, no, this is bad, yes, this is good, is not enough for us to go on, because we'll have to give you another call, a follow-up call, in order to gain further inspection on that.
And that's the thing too. It's and I get it and understand too. It's like, I mean, what we're doing is like creative problem solving.
We are.
And I understand, like, there's, for any industry, there's language. And I know for a lot of clients, they don't have the language.
Facts.
They don't know exactly how to say it. And so that's what we're working with
If
too,
we could
right?
coach you in that, yeah.
You know, we're trying to interpret your feedback. Sometimes they just don't have the words, like, and they may use certain words which mean something else to us. So that's always that's always a thing.
That's powerful.
Yeah,
Right?
like some popular
It's like,
ones we joke
You
about.
said that, but that's not what that means. But I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah, like some popular ones we joke about, people will be like, make it pop, make the logo pop.
Sure. Yeah.
Well, when we read that, that could mean an array of different
Saturation, contrast.
You want the
Exact-
background blur? They're like, what are you talking
things. Exactly.
about?
Like,
Blow that out.
yeah, be descriptive. And if your description doesn't make sense in the language that we speak, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But if you leave me a paragraph of explanation on maybe what you were thinking in your words, like, that's gonna help us come up with the best option for you.
So I want to expand on that, and this kind of hits on what Avion said when he talked about communication. I think there's a misconception out there that clients have that when they hire us, their work is done. You hire us, you give us the money, and now you can go on vacation. It don't work like that. The truth of the matter is, when you hire us, there's still a little bit of work required on your part. Not nearly as much as you would have had to do if you didn't hire us, but there is still a little bit of work. We're more of an extension of your brand than we are a vendor. Right, and that's a term that's used a lot when you talk about the work that we do. You hire us as a vendor for your company.
Yeah.
Cool, that's cute. That works for processing paperwork. But now that the paperwork's been processed, we're partners. And you're the director, and we're an advisor, a consultant. We're helping you to execute a portion of your business called marketing.
Man, you made some good points.
And so when you hire us, understand that you still got to respond to emails.
Yeah.
You still got to do some meetings. You still got to give us feedback. You still got to analyze the work that we're doing and let us know if we're headed in the right direction. And before I pass it to you, the last thing that I'll say about it is this is not unreasonable and it's not abnormal. When you go to Burger King, I don't go to Burger King, but where's the camera? When you go to Burger King, When you go to Runza, when you go to the Cheesecake Factory, that's a popular one that all the dating podcasts are talking about.
You might be a meme for saying
When you go order food, there's work required on your part. You got to get in the car. You got to drive there. You got to walk up to the building. You got to decide what to order. If we're talking Burger King and there's a line, then you got to wait for your order to be made. Then you got to walk back up to the counter, pick up your food, take it to the table, sit down. There's still work required, even though you gave someone money, right? It's not just give money and then you turn into a vegetable. There's a little bit of work required, and that's all that we're saying is that although you have hired us to execute, we're going to execute, but we need additional information to be able to pull it off to the highest level.
Yeah. Because what we're talking about is branding, right? You know, it's a. I was trying to think of a different word, but I'll just say it's an intimate thing. So we have to be, you know, like you said, we're an extension. So it's just a little bit different. And yes, we'll carry most of the load, but man, we're like a part of your team. We are a part of your team, and we gotta really like get to know you. We gotta be around you. Mm-hmm. We gotta, you know, understand, you know, some of those pivots and some of those different things, because hey, we're helping you with your brand, and that brand just, you know, it has to bleed into everything that we're creating and making. So we need certain information, you know.
Yep.
We just do.
Important, even on top of that, we could add that, and this is just a plug for branding and marketing in general. Branding your business is one of the most important things you can do for your company.
Right.
And you might be like, well, why would I want to spend $20,000 on branding my company when I need to buy equipment and a place and all this stuff? It's because if you don't have a cohesive look for your company, you are unrecognizable.
Mm-hmm. In a sea of businesses.
Right. And it goes beyond just your logo. It is your messaging, you know, how you interact.
Your reputation.
Yeah, it's it's all those things.
So let's switch topics here. This should be a whole series.
Yeah,
I mean, we could just
you just gotta keep. Yeah. We can stay here all day.
We could stay here all day. I love
you just
this
gotta
topic.
just move us along, man.
Yeah. So just pivoting with, we've seen this hot term right now, personal brands. 5 years ago, this wasn't even a thing, right? There's a few people that had a personal brand. Yeah. And now it's like, if you don't have a personal brand, then who are you?
Who are you?
But is it capped? Is it not capped? So I want to go to Avion. Looking at 2025, the maestro of personal brands, I think Avion has the highest engagement right now of the team. Yeah, we're all kind of working on our personal.
I'm gonna go look
brand.
that up.
It's obviously triggering because we've got some reactions there.
We got some competitive people in the group.
I'm looking at my stats.
I'll archives on my posts so we can pull out the big dogs.
Do personal brands matter in 2025?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's a short answer. Yeah.
Why? Why
to elaborate on it. It's personal branding and I'll just start by saying everybody needs a personal brand. It's like it's kind of a part of your everyday life, especially if you're like I mean, we can go even from outside just business stuff, but like if you're trying to sell something, if you're trying to make a name for yourself in an area, whether that be just, you could be a music producer, you could be a coach, a designer. I mean, I don't care if you're a dog walker. Like, everybody, like, it's so important to have a personal brand because that's how nowadays people like recognize who you are. And you were just kind of talking about earlier how the social proof part of it, that's what people are basing kind of like who you are. So whatever you want to and it's really cool because I'm super big on like recreating yourself and and that's normal. It's like a normal process, and like personal branding is a way to do that. You get to show people, you get to position yourself to show people how you want people to look at you. So
There you go.
yeah, that's like the short and sweet. Like, yeah, you need it. Like, even like on a social like friend thing or like dating. Like, social media is the first thing. Like, whether you know it or not, you're creating a personal brand for yourself. People are looking on your page, and like I even get in a bad habit like tearing my posts down. Like, nah, I don't want people to look at me like that. And that's cool because like that makes you aware. Sometimes I could be a little too self-critical about that, but yeah, it's like a part of everyday life now.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's an interesting take. I got some curveballs I'm gonna throw in there, so I'll let you guys respond to that.
Okay. Yeah, it's very important, but it's like everybody like has one, regardless. Like you have one. You have a brand, right? And you know, it's just like what you say, how you treat people. You know, not just the content we're creating, but we all have one. And so the cool thing about with the social platforms, like now we all have this vehicle, right, where we can curate, you know what I'm saying, curate and put together how, you know, we want people to view us, like you're saying, how we want to be perceived. And it's like, and you can do with it what you want. It's yours.
Yeah.
It's yours. That is yours. Nobody can tell you what to put on your platform, right? If I just want to put nothing but puppies on there, I can do that. It's mine. If you don't like that, get off
Don't
the
follow
page.
me.
You don't have to be on there. That's what's cool about it too, man. It's yours. You can do what you want. You can just you put your interests on there, like what you care about, how you feel, like, you know, any of those things. But everybody has one. You know, it's just the next step of you know, a way of where you can like control the narrative, you know what I'm saying, of how people view you and see, and people can learn more about you, right? Like a person, for me, like I'm not a big talker. I'm not talking to everyone. So if people like follow my platform or so, they're gonna learn things about me that they didn't know. That I'm just not gonna have those conversations with everybody because that's just not how I am or how I'm built.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it goes more than just on social media too. It's like how you represent yourself in the real world too. I feel like so.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, mine's really got a
that's good.
reflection of like who I am in real life as well as who I am on social media. Like if you meet me and then you see my pages, you're gonna know that I'm being authentic as a human being because I put exactly who I am on the internet. Facebook, all family stuff.
You almost said the Facebook. I saw it. You
I
almost
know.
said it.
Now, yeah. Do I think I don't know if I know we should put everything
Right, we've had that discussion.
on those.
I've
on our
had
platforms.
to take some stuff down that got too
and not,
personal.
not just you personally, just when I think of, you know, again, like I guess I said it, to each his own, you know.
To
like
each his
you
own.
get to decide, like,
Yeah.
how vulnerable you want to be, what conversations you want to have.
Right,
Do I think you should have certain conversations on there?
because people will comment.
You know, whatever you want.
And they're gonna comment. What they
Well, I
want
think
to.
even more than that, you have to be careful because the information that you post is permanent, whether you like it or not.
Seen it.
From the moment you post it, it can be screenshotted, it can be downloaded, it can be reshared, and people can quote you on things that you said. So there definitely has to be a level of forward thinkingness, if that's a word. Interestingly enough, Chris Do, the founder of founder of The Future, huge following. He does his big branding podcast. He does workshops and stuff. He talked about, who is also bald, by the way. Shout out to my bald brothers out there. Let's go. Bald Asian guy.
You wear glasses too, don't you?
And he wears glasses. You know, I like the guy. He's got a good look. But he said that 98% of personal brands online are fake, in his estimate. And I found that to be interesting when you said that, because it kind of suggests that maybe while we do all have a personal brand, should we have a personal brand if it's misrepresenting who we truly are? So,
Can I say something?
the idea is to get some follow-up to do is should everybody leverage their personal brand? I agree everybody has it, but should we all be posting regularly and, that type of thing? So.
Oh, okay. I was going to speak on, if you are not being yourself on your social media platform, and go ahead and get mad at me, but get real, okay? Because I'm sick of these fake people out there posting all this fake stuff to try to make themselves better than or feel better than. Do some internal work on yourself and learn how to be happy, okay? Okay?
All highlights.
Go ahead and get mad at me.
I mean,
Go ahead and get mad at me.
It's all at the end of the day, it's curated, right? You know what I'm saying?
But we don't need to be living for validation and followers.
No, I'm just saying we pick and choose what people see, but we do that in everyday life, right?
Yeah.
I pick and choose what I let you know about me. I do that. You do that in the world. You know what I'm saying? We pick and choose who we let see certain things.
It's a level of
about
censorship.
about ourselves. That's
just
reality,
human,
right?
yeah.
Your husband knows a Tara that we will never know.
Yeah.
I'm pretty Tara everywhere I go.
Okay, wrong example.
It's facts, because the information, people don't always use our information the way we want it to be used. And so whether we like it or not, over time we learn that we have to censor our information, right?
Yeah.
We don't give our credit card number to everybody because not everybody's going to use it for our best interest. So that's just one piece of information about us.
Yeah.
We don't share with anybody. And that the same logic applies to our personal brand. We just don't share everything because people misuse other people's information.
Right. And I think too, it's just right. It's available to everybody. But what's the purpose of it, right? Some people do a lot of different things with it and what it's for. You know what I'm saying? So that determines how, people use it. So when you say fake, are you saying that that people are pretending to be who they're not?
Yeah,
For financial gain, right? We see that there's a lot of type of influencers that act like they at a certain level.
Yeah,
right.
but they're not.
For instance, that's why it's okay, so you throw this out. Everybody will pretend that they make over six figures when the average is less than 10%. You know what I'm saying? I think it's even lower than that.
Yeah.
But if you look on it, people will pretend that it's just everybody makes that. So those kind of things, you know what I'm saying? People just show these different shots of here and there and there. And
You know what would help people more? If you were real, because it's relatable. Okay?
What?
If you get on your social media and you say, I make six figures, I do all this, I
But what if I'm
travel
trying
the
to sell you a
world, I'm
course?
so great. Huh?
if I'm trying to sell you a course, You ain't gonna buy my course unless
I ain't
I'm
gonna
making
buy your
six
course
figures.
either way. I'm not dumb. I can figure it out on my own.
Man, if you see me on the
So-
jets, I'm making six figures. I
No.
said that I take
Facts.
vacations when I
Yeah.
want to. I work on the beach.
I
Yeah,
just
but
wanna-
you lying and you
I see
just
both
trying to get
sides.
people's money.
I see
Okay.
both sides.
I didn't mean
Okay.
to. I didn't mean to stir
No,
everybody
you
up.
are.
I just wanted to clarify what he said in the video
Yeah.
because this was actual like video that he created, and maybe we can put that up in the episode. But in the video, he specifically said that people are posing. They're portraying themselves as somebody that they're not, or they're not fully. You've got organizations and influencers who will pay to be seen with another person for social proof. And so it's basically staged, right? They'll pay Michael Jordan to take a picture with them so that they have a picture of themselves with Michael Jordan.
Oh yeah.
So they're posing like they have this relationship with Michael Jordan, and they don't really have a relationship. He's just paid to be there to shake hands and say hello to everybody.
Yeah.
Right. But
That's
It makes
fake.
if you're doing a basketball podcast, that looks
Exactly.
really solid.
we've had that conversation plenty of time. I think on an episode, the mental health episode. Actually, it's like, sometimes there is an assumption that what people post is real. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But
A 1,000%.
It's
If I post that I'm in California, people think I'm in California at that very moment. It's like they forget that you can capture an image because, in full disclosure, I almost never post when I'm on a trip.
Right.
You will hardly ever know when I'm
real.
out of town because when I go out of town, I put my phone down. I capture my content, whatever, and then I'm there. I focus on the trip. So I don't do any social media posting until I get back. If I post, that means I'm already back. So you would probably never know when I'm on a trip because by the time you see it, I'm already back.
yeah.
Yeah. Man, that's a loaded thing because I see both sides of it, right? It's like, okay, I'll say it like this. I think there's a real need for authenticity,
Thank you.
for sure.
I'm sick of fake people.
Yeah, well, let me clarify. I wasn't
Yeah.
saying that they should. I'm just saying
Yeah.
They are.
what their goal
No, I know.
is. They
I
do
know.
that because they're trying to.
Right.
And that's
Right.
why it's like
They're trying to
can't-
make money.
It's like when you get on there, you can't. Your first assumption should not be that's real. That's
Yeah.
my point.
No.
Nobody
yeah,
tries
don't-
to be fake,
I don't
by
think.
the way.
Yeah.
No, people-
And to Teddy's point, right? There's like a dark side and a light side to it,
Uh-oh.
right? The light side is like if you got a basketball podcast and you take a picture of Michael Jordan, LeBron James, it's like, oh snap, like that's a play right there.
Fake it till you make it.
That's
Is it all that bad?
That's not that bad.
That's not that bad.
But
But
if-
you like selling a course on how to make $1 million
as a 28-year-old.
as a and even worse, 22-year-old.
Yeah.
Like that's stuff I be seeing. Starting your own marketing agency within your first 6 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you post it up by Lambos, and
Yeah.
you got the designer on. It's really easy to make that picture, and I think that's weird. I think that's lame, in my opinion. That's really lame to do that because you're selling people false dreams because you haven't
Yes,
even done it yourself.
that was what I was
So-
going to say.
So there
the
could be-
thing too that certain people are attracted to that too, right?
Yeah.
Like if my end goal is to have those things, you know what I'm saying? Like for a person like me, like that doesn't. I don't pay attention to anything like that
Right.
because that's not what I'm like trying to get.
No, none of that's on my feed.
Yeah, so it can be a play, but that's why I say it's a real need for authenticity because we do got a lot of fakers on Instagram, on TikTok, but we do got some good people on here too. So it's like,
Let me take that.
my thing is like the proof, like show me the proof in the pudding. Like if you can show me like the work, and like that's why I think documentation is super important too on Instagram because any social media. I say Instagram because I use Instagram the most, but like any social media like YouTube, if you like document what you do and show results, like results are forever gonna speak more volumes than you posting up on a McLaren, you know, yapping on social media saying, yeah, I did this, like, you know, like, show me it. And like, you get so much more credibility that way, in my opinion. And it really does upset me because we're playing with people, like you said, Teddy, these are real people with real feelings, with, you know, like, this is people's money you playing with. Like, some people got families, like.
Think about the kids that we're influencing. Okay.
But the thing is too, though, it's like people people do this like before, you know, social media blew up. People always was what we call it fronting.
Yeah.
People always done that. They always have. You know what I'm saying?
It's just louder now because you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
you
Well,
go.
now you get to see all the people doing it.
Yeah.
All the
That's the thing. Social media. I couldn't just. The only people that you could get a insight into people's lives were celebrities. That's the thing about social media. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, with, like, the
You
magazines
can
and
actually see
stuff.
what regular, everyday people are doing because of this platform. You don't need to be a movie star.
No.
I don't need to be a professional athlete to be able
You
to
can
get an
just be
insight into
anybody.
Avion's life. You only could get insight into celebrities' lives before.
Yeah.
You get insight to anybody's life that is on the platform.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think, in my personal anecdotal observation, all of the super successful people that I personally know, they don't post. Those are the people that don't
Yes.
post. The
Interesting.
ones that are really, truly successful are ghosts on social media.
They can't be seen on social media.
I run into them on a random flight back from Florida, and they just happen to be on the same flight as me. I bump into them in spaces that I'm at out of town, and it's like, okay, I'm as I've got a small taste of success, and I'm certainly not at their level, but as I've got a taste of it, it's like, wait a second, you're traveling like I am, but you haven't posted in 6 months. So how often are you doing this traveling? You know, I ran into one gentleman. He was just taking his wife on a trip for the weekend. I'm going on my big trip, right? I had to save up for this. For him, this is just a quick little weekend retreat with his wife. And these guys are not posting. They don't post their family. They don't post their money. They don't post the success. They don't post the accolades. They don't post.
Quiet
So I don't know if that's true broadly, but what I see, like, high net worth people that post is typically entertainers, folks in the sports and athletics, and then people who that's what they do, which is typically entertainment. But outside of entertainment, like the people working in tech, the people working in business, folks like that, the CEOs, the execs, I don't see, those dudes are too busy and women as well. They're not posting. I mean, I just think of all of them, and I was just like, dang, do any of them post? They don't even want to post. And I think there's a level that you get to when you're not in entertainment, you're not in marketing, you're not in sports, where you're really concerned about the safety of your family being targeted. So I think there could be some strength to what Chris Doe is saying, that the folks that are posting ain't the real, because if they really had it like that, they'd be concerned about, man, I could get robbed for this. I could get targeted for this.
Those kind of numbers, you typically ain't gonna.
Yeah, I'm talking about
You're not gonna
rich
share.
people.
You're not gonna share that information because you become a.
You wouldn't share
Target.
any.
So it made it, so a
Most of
little
the time, Forbes
caveat.
putting that out, not them.
So a little caveat for folks out there: doubt first when people are posting super lavish stuff,
Yes.
because unless they're in, like I say, entertainment, sports, those dudes really do have it, and they're just,
It helps your brand.
it's part of their branding.
Yeah.
But if they're not in those spaces, I mean, I even think of like somebody in like content like MKBHD, or how much do we really know about his personal life? He does tech reviews, but what is he really driving? What color is it? What's his license plate number? He don't really be posting like that.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I will say though, you can dig through the clouds and find like real solid people that are really about what they talk about on social media. Like a couple of like guys, but these guys are educators though, right? So like that's the thing is like these guys are doing more educating than selling for real because they don't. Those are the guys that don't need your sale to make their money. They're already self-sufficient in their own way to be able to do it. So
Yeah, they're not selling.
They're trying to
Yeah.
grow the community as their purpose.
Yeah, they're just
Exactly.
giving away
guys
game.
like Wall Street Trapper. There's people I follow. Wall Street Trapper, the whole Earn Your Leisure squad. Like Chris Johnson is another one, and he's like, and he don't be posting like a bunch neither. Now I was thinking about it, like he be posting he'll pop out, but he'll pop out on some like educating, like trying to feed the people kind of thing. Like y'all, like this is what's gonna help you guys grow. I like Alex Hormozy too. He's like.
I follow his wife. She's
Solid.
incredible.
There's some
Layla.
controversy with him about that
Yeah, I was about to say
school,
so.
SKOOL.
Oh, really?
There's some I'm not saying, I'm not leaning one way or another. I'm just saying keep an eye on that because he's an investor in it as well. He didn't start it. But regardless, he gives away very valuable information.
Yeah, I followed him mainly from his gym launch stuff, and he gave out a lot of solid stuff. But my point being, though, I agree with what you say, though. Like, question first. Like, you should almost be able to interview these people based on, like, what they post. And even if you get an opportunity to, like, talk to them, because it's like, these people are so accessible. Like, you could just send a DM.
No, you can. I reach out to the designers that are in the community that I follow. Like, I have had actual emails with them. They offer now, right? Their videos, their YouTube videos, everything they do is based on education, right? So it's like helping designers grow as designers, and like that's their business. They still take on companies and do their branding for them, and that pays their bills. And then to supplement their income, they sell courses on their website. Right. And I don't think there's anything wrong with a little supplemental income.
Yeah, right.
If you're sharing educational pieces with the community to intend to raise the bar of the community.
Yeah, that's good stuff. Well, let's switch modes here.
There's no deep in that one. Too.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Like I said, we should make this a series. There's a lot to unpack.
And like the last little thing too is like I also come from like my generation is like normalizing a lot of this stuff too. So like,
Dang, that's crazy.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's a part of the norm, but we do need to do a better job of weeding out the flaky stuff.
Yeah.
For sure. But
I would definitely rant on that as well about, especially when it comes to dating. I think y'all generation with using a person's social media following to qualify like a date. I think that's
crazy.
I caution y'all. I mean, I get dates, so let's just I just put that out there. We're not. This is not some dude that can't get girls.
that's a fact.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
I get dates, but so we're not talking about that. I mean, come on, man, you've seen it. So,
You don't need to say that.
I'm gonna talk my talk, all right? Because ain't nobody
That's
gonna
funny.
sit up here and try to invalidate what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But what I'm getting at is, I caution those who are actively dating to use that for qualification or validation of a mate selection, because it's very dangerous, right? I mean, people can buy followers, we can buy likes, you can buy comments. You can use different method hacks, which is, I'm kind of segueing into what we're about to talk about, but
it's just a different manifestation of it. Again, it's like that's what people have always done, right? The person that's popular isn't the same. It's the same thing, right?
Same thing. Like,
it's the same
and
thing.
I think
people
said
date
that.
people because they're popular, because everybody like them, because they play this, they play that.
I'm
And so
just
now
saying-
it's like, oh, they got all these. It's wild.
People
Now it's
can-
like, oh, they got all these.
people can do
followers.
whatever they want to do. You're free to do whatever you want. I would just caution folks to make that like the gold standard. Like, if they don't have this many followers, if they don't, this and that. I think it's dangerous because you may not be looking at their true clout. That's all I'm saying. So don't just go off.
It blows my mind.
It's a
'cause I
lot of
just
correlation
never even
between the business and relationship stuff. Like, you can fake it in that aspect too.
Yeah, with business too, you talk about stable gray, right? You look at our followership, and maybe there's another, entity out there that has 20,000 followers, and you look at ours and we have 900 or 1,000. Well, we employ 7 people and 25 contractors. I mean, you got to make a little more than $20,000 to employ 7 people. So, look at more than just followers, right? Just because we have a small following doesn't mean that we're not getting hired and fulfilling our contracts.
Or have like
it's not
It's not a good
at the end of the day, it's not a
representation of that.
reflection of and so that begs the question too, just personally, it's like, why do you follow certain pages? Do you pay attention to that, or are you really just paying attention to the content?
Right.
Is it the content, the education, or is it because they got 200,000 followers
Let
and they
me
got 1 million
follow 'em
followers?
too.
Let me follow them too. right?
Everybody else liked it. Let me like it.
Right.
It's like, dang,
So
that's
that's just some little
It's just-
reflection of self.
it's just
Right.
immature.
Yeah.
where this is the technology is shifting so fast that as humans we're catching up. We're playing catch up, and so we're dealing with phenomenon that no generation has dealt with before. There are no grandfathers and grandmothers that can tell the younger generation how they should handle this.
No,
Because they didn't have
I've never
social
thought of
media
that
40, 50
way.
years. It's like, when I was your age and when I was on
There's some people my age that
MySpace.
are grandfathers. and grandmothers.
I mean, but their kids are like 2 years old, though.
I just messed. That's what I was talking to Dan this morning about.
Oh, yeah.
Just at our age, you can have somebody that's having a grandkid, or they got
That's
baby in
messed up,
diapers.
ain't it? It's
Like
messed
at this
up.
age, just like you have that variation. It's crazy.
10 years ago, I was a young adult. Now y'all talking about I'm an old head. Like, I was just with the young kids, man. It's messed up. But anyway, so we just got 2 things left, and then we'll wrap up here. So as we talk about social media marketing, let's unpack the truth just for a second about the algorithm, right? We've all been working on our personal brand. We've talked about being a fake entity on social media. We've talked about lessons from this year. So let's kind of combine all of that together and just kind of look at the algorithm. What lessons have you taken away, Tara, from the algorithm? How does the algorithm work, in your opinion?
Can I be frank?
This is the
Yeah, we
place.
wouldn't want you to be any other way.
Okay, because that's who I am.
Authentic, be
Okay,
authentic.
Frank,
Frank. Just call me
thought your
Frank.
name was Tara.
I don't care about the algorithm. I don't care. And I enjoy posting. I'm not trying to get famous. I don't want to be anything other than I am because I have a really great life. I'm posting because as a designer, if you don't have a personal brand in this climate, you just become irrelevant. And I have to have the social proof in order to stay relevant in my industry. I'm reluctant, and I hopped on the opportunity because I wanted to have fun with Avion and Teddy developing a program for our company. And so I got excited and started having fun with it. And now it just feels like another task. I know. So I've taken the week off. I had one post go out this week that Max did for me.
Oh,
and
okay.
yeah, I've taken the week off.
Okay.
So
It's definitely a hot take.
Yeah.
yeah, I just I'm doing what I have to do in this industry in order to stay successful for my job. I want to be a great designer. I want to be a top designer. I want to be a master at my craft.
Okay.
And if that includes
Mastery. Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's a part of our macros at our company. What is it? Mastery, accessibility, community,
Put herself on the spot.
Yeah, dang, you gotta finish.
obsession, and selflessness
Okay. Got through them.
is our
Forgot
six
resiliency.
is our 6 core values at Stable Gray.
We were like, yeah. Jackson was like,
We got some folks off.
I know which one I
camera
missed. I missed R. I spelled it wrong. Resilient. Resiliency. So those are our 6 core values. I am trying to become a master at my craft. And in order to be a master at my craft, I have to partake in all essences of the deal.
excellent.
There you go.
That's solid. So the question specifically is, what is the algorithm? And
What's the truth about social media marketing as it relates to the algorithm? How does the algorithm work?
Okay, so I think there's a technical side, and then there's like, I would say an emotional side to it, and they hold hands in this entire algorithm talk. For me, the technical side of the algorithm is like how long somebody is watching your post. Are they liking it? Are they sharing it? Are they saving it? Are they commenting on it? Are they watching the video all the way to the end? Or are they just watching like 10 seconds of your video? So that's like the technical side of it. And what I've researched so far is that each social media platform has its own form of their algorithm. So Instagram, their algorithm might be, or however their AI, if they got AI behind it, it could be anything. TikTok, one might just go off of like how long somebody is on your post, and then they'll start sharing it. Another one might be like how much is it getting shared, and then it'll push it out that way. So that's like the technical side of it. But when I really started digging in deep in it, the algorithm, I just started changing the word algorithm with people. So like, for me, it's like, these are people, like the algorithm is going off of what people are doing with your post. So do people like your posts? And is that the reason why they're not staying? Or, if they don't like it, is that the reason why they stay for 10, 30 seconds or drop off? Yes, that's what I would say in short, because it can go deeper than that, but
Okay.
it's people behind these screens, like whether it be a picture, whether it be a post, like how are people reacting to your video? And I think we look at the algorithm as like, when I see, like, I was going through videos, like, understand, like, what is the algorithm? It just seems so magical, but it's just, how do people like your content? And however people are reacting to it is going to be a reflection of maybe how good it is. And you know what?
I don't think that's necessarily true.
And I was just about to say, too, is that yes and no, because you have to do what the people want, too. So you could have, like, we had conversations about this all the time, like, you could have dope content, but, like, maybe just 100 people really rock with your content. So I stopped, like, caring about, like, it going viral, mostly, like, the impact that I'm making through it. If, like, 100 people is sitting in this room, like, and I didn't, like, really impacted these people, like, that's fire. Like, I really did something. Now, if I want something to go viral, then I'm like, okay, maybe I'll say this at the beginning of my video because I know that's going to hook and that's going to make people stay on my video longer. And then I'm going to say this right after this, and then it'll push it out even more. So it's like, if you really want to go viral, you got to, like, tug the battle between emotions and the technical side. If you want to, like, make super big impact, I think long term you just, like, lean on, like, the emotional side. Like, how am I really going to help people?
Well, and you, in your area of expertise, are trying to essentially change people's lives by getting them healthy.
Yeah.
Right?
So like, for me, I don't
Virality isn't necessarily
I don't really care about
essential for what you're doing.
Yeah.
But
You know.
what is connecting with the people that are maybe suffering with diabetes and need help losing 50 pounds and want to get in the best shape of their life and want to learn how to eat right, that you're really going to like change something for them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a fact. Because the last thing I say is what makes me feel better is like I went live a couple weeks ago, and it made me love going live because I only had like 10 people over a span of an hour go on live, and I thought I wanted a lot of people, but during that live, it was like 5 out of those 10 people was just like genuinely asking questions, and I'm like, man, that felt good. Like, I thought I wanted like 100 people on live. I was booming, like everybody in here, like.
But it was probably easier to talk to 10.
Yeah, and that too. We really don't want as much of that attention as people think we want. Neither, like
It's
a lot of people are
overwhelming.
not really ready for that. Neither. So there's a lot that goes into it. But when it comes to the algorithm, I think it's two sides of it, and you have to be able to decide what result you want and if that's really the result you do want. So yeah, that's my piece.
Virality versus good content.
Drop the mic.
Good little
Right on.
followers. Anything to add?
About the algorithm, I mean, there's a lot of mixed thoughts about it, and even some skepticism.
Skepticism.
You know, there's a lot of factors, right? There's a money factor behind it, and there's different reasons, right? We have all these different reasons why we engage with specific content, right? We engage with it to be educated. We engage with it because we know this person. We engage with it because we want to laugh. We engage with it because I like this music, I like this sport. There's just all these different reasons why we engage with it. And just to let y'all know, like, as far as like likes, that kind of stuff, like, I did it a long time ago. I can't even see how many likes people have on their thing. You remember when you was able to do that?
Oh, did you turn it off?
You could turn that off.
Oh yeah, I turned it off on my post.
It's still off. I can't even see that on people's stuff. You know what I'm saying? I look at it as like anything else too. Even those that have a lot, there's different reasons why, but a lot of times we just see what people got now. You know what I'm saying? We don't know when they started, how long they've been doing it. You'll see like people say, everybody started with, 0. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, unless you're like a super famous person, that's just different. But I feel like there's just so many different factors, man. It's like there's just so many, because you can see trends and things like that. So you can do a trend and probably get in that, But do you want to do that? That's a way to do it. So there's different tactics and different things that are ever changing. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people can teach you how to write a resume. You know what I'm saying? There's different ways people can show you how to do this and do this. I don't think. I feel like a lot of people don't even know sometimes that say they do. You know what I'm saying? Like they try to tell people, teach it. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it's like after the fact, right? Mm-hmm.
It's like they went viral and then they're like...
We do that sometimes, right? A lot of things is luck. You know what I'm saying? Like if we're all honest, like a lot of things happen as luck. But then you got this outcome, and then you look back and you try to define how you did it. Mm-hmm. And you be making some stuff up. You do. Like if you be real honest, man, I don't know how I did. Okay, maybe it's because I ate this morning. I drove this way and I did that. Do a superstition, right? Yeah, man. Right. Oh man, I got to intercept. Okay, what did I do? Okay, I put my socks on first. I wore this. I wore that. You know what I'm saying? I think we do that a lot with stuff. We're like,
I could have totally done that with my baby video that went viral.
Nah, for
Yeah.
could have been like, yeah, see, I remember I put the crib this way.
People definitely.
I filmed his face at this angle.
Yeah.
Like, he smiled like this.
but the truth is, there's a number of things that could have. I mean, there's some science to it, but it's like,
That's true.
But there are folks that they insist there's a science to it, and I think everything that's been said has been awesome stuff. I think that in terms of the algorithm, if I could summarize it into a few things, I would say, I think the first thing is it's all about engagement. The algorithm it's a business algorithm. It's designed to maximize profits, right? So it's pushing content that keeps people on the platform that is profitable. So your content has to be things that people want to watch, people that keeps them on the platform, but also drives revenue for the platform. And so with that said, I think what I've learned, because, you know, Tara left me out when she talked about, you know, her inspiration for like doing social media personal brand. Like I ain't even in the room right now. Like I ain't pushing a personal
Okay,
brand.
the truth
But-
is Chardell started the inspiration.
Well, it's all been synergy. It's all been synergy.
It was
right?
a
wasn't any
team
one person.
activity.
Yeah, it
Yes,
was a
I
group
apologize.
activity.
That was my bad.
No, it's all good. I'm just giving you a hard time. But
I know.
What-
Now I feel bad though.
what I'm getting at is that what I've learned through my portion of it is that the algorithm ultimately responds to pop culture, right? And we can like or dislike the way that I'm framing that, but the reality is that if the algorithm is responding to people's engagement, so two things are true. The algorithm is always looking backwards. It can't predict the future of what we're going to be interested in, right? So it's gathering data and then putting a mirror up to us about what other people have engaged with, what other people have liked, what other people have spent time participating in. So the algorithm, I think, primarily responds to whatever pop culture responds to. And what is popular is pop culture, right? So the closer you are to whatever is trending, the more the algorithm is going to feed that to people. And I think the other thing about it is that is kind of what you guys said. If we can get our tribe of 1,000 people that really, really rock with us, right? If we can get 1,000 people to give us $100 a month, that's $100,000 a month, right? So, yeah, most of us really ain't about that life anyway. Nobody's really trying to have 1 million followers and 670,000 DMs every day.
Oh gosh, it'd be so annoying.
That's the life of LeBron James or somebody, right? No, we're really not about that life anyway. But I think the algorithm, it responds to pop culture, and therefore it responds to the aesthetic of pop culture. If I dress up and I look just like, or I look similar to Michael Jackson, people that rock with Michael Jackson are likely to engage with my content a lot more. Especially if I can sing like Michael Jackson and dance a little bit like Michael Jackson, then people that like Michael Jackson aesthetic are gonna rock with my aesthetic. So I think if people wanna grow or go viral, right, that part of it, because I do agree, I think there's two things dancing there. If people want to go viral, they have to appeal to a pop culture aesthetic. And there's a million of those, right? Mm-hmm. There's the super fit athletic dude. There's the super rich aesthetic. There's the super poor aesthetic. There's the grandma aesthetic. There's all kinds of
for everything.
There's an aesthetic for meal. Huh?
There's a super poor one?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Definitely. It's like people, yeah.
There's an aesthetic for anything. Anything that
I just don't know
is
any of those.
anything that pop culture is aware of, you can make an aesthetic around. I'm giving away some gems here.
Okay.
And so the,
What's my
let me-
aesthetic fall into? Just please, I want to know.
Well, let's see. Okay,
Caucasian-
Caucasian is the predominant ethnic group in the United States, so you can lean into that. The fact that you're Caucasian.
I don't
You
know.
can-
I feel like I don't want to do that.
We're just talking about pop culture.
Okay,
You're
okay.
just talking about what's popular, what's
right.
most well recognized.
All right.
You could maybe find a celebrity that you kind of look like and then kind of look more like her. Like, though, we're just talking about the algorithm and virality. We're not talking about what you personally care about. It's what the algorithm is going to say, oh, yeah, see, she's getting a lot more engagement. People are watching it because you kind of look like Kim
Yeah.
Kardashian.
That reminds me of that conversation we had the other day because you brought over that gentleman's video. He was walking in nature and he was wearing an outfit that I liked. It was like a hiking outfit and he was like very, like looked like a hippie, but he was like kind of attractive. And we're discussing like the algorithm in general. And our thought behind it was that it had to do with, crap, I can't remember. But but the important part of this, your point is that no, it's more of like what people are seeing. So what they view. If the person is attractive, they're gonna watch it.
Yeah, it's all about aesthetics when
Yeah.
it comes to virality. When it comes to building a loyal following, it's all about picking a niche and being disciplined. If you jump all over the place with your content, you're going to lose followers at a higher rate. You're also going to have very low engagement. The people that have the most success, whether they have a big following or not, are the people that focus on a niche. So whether you focus on the virality aspect of social media or you focus on the engagement aspect, you have to have a niche. And so if your thing is going to be design, then you do design whether you're getting 1 million likes or 1 like. You
Yeah.
just keep posting about design. If you start doing design and then you start doing family and then you start doing whitewater rafting and then it's like, okay, what is this page about? What am I following? What is it that I'm taking an interest in?
At that
So-
point, then really your only followers end up being the people that know you and want to see what you're doing in your life.
And that's what I had for the last 7 years. I wiped my page because I had like 14 or 15,000 followers, but most of them were people that were attracted to an aesthetic that I was just randomly doing 5 years ago, right? So I would collaborate with models and do stuff like that for photography, and my page was all about photography. But when I realized that I really care about tech, then a lot of those people just stopped engaging. But now I'm hurting my algorithm, right? Because I got all these followers and less than 1% are engaging. So I wiped out all the people that hadn't engaged with me in 2-3 years, and now I'm down to like 3,000 followers or something like that. But now my engagement has gone up. I get more engagement, and so the point of what I'm saying is just that, to Avion's point, he said it way better than I did. There's 2 arms, and for me, it's virality and it's niche, and you've got to lean into the niche more either way. But the virality, I do think, it's a factor of pop culture. The algorithm reflects back to us whatever the majority of people are interested in. That's what shows up in your for you. That's what they show to your non-followers. If you post a reel and it's longer than 90 seconds, they don't show it to your non-followers. So there's different hacks that you can do, but it's still not going to get a lot of engagement if it doesn't appeal to a pop culture aesthetic, right? If I just post a camera shot zooming in on the floor, then, because when people are scrolling through their feed, they're like, well, what's in it for me? It's like, okay, it's a picture of a floor. Like, what am I going to, okay, is he saying something interesting? Is the text on top dope? What is the aesthetic here? So you could make the floor a dope aesthetic, but what's the value? It's got to be a pop culture value. Oh, I'm teaching people about finance. I'm teaching them like cookbook lessons. So zoom in on the floor, and then you see what I'm saying? It's always an aesthetic about it or a niche.
Yeah, I agree.
So
with
that's
that.
my 2 cents.
Yeah,
Okay, so if we want
right,
to
Tim.
sum that up, we have 4 ingredients to an algorithm. Can you cut that out? What did we say? We said
Breakdancing
niche.
Ninja Turtles.
We said niche. We said virality. We said personal, human emotion, and we said
Authenticity.
Authenticity. Well, what I was explaining was like things in the algorithm. So like there's an emotional side to the algorithm and like a technical side to the algorithm. And I think we kind of like blended a little bit when we spoke. And I was gonna say too, I definitely agree with what you say. There's like, if you can imagine, there's these streams, right? And in each stream, there's it's the way to the lake or to the ocean. Each of these streams are your niche, and you can hop in these streams, or you yourself are your niche, but there's these streams that are popular, so you can lean into the popularity of whatever stream it is. It could be because I look like, I'm a light-skinned guy, I look like Drake. So then I'll lean into that, but I'll do fitness stuff, and I'll have Drake music playing in the background. But, that's a play, right? It's like, all this Kendrick, I could lean into this Kendrick Drake beef, but it's, like you said, like pop culture, but that's like a working stream that would go in my favor. Now, the results I'll get from that, I don't know. Drake's getting, I think he getting bodied right now, but you know what I'm saying? I'm Team Kendrick. So it's like,
Drake looking dude that's Team Kendrick. Ooh, that's an aesthetic right there.
Exactly, but then that kind of goes in our other conversation is like, or was it the other? Yeah, it was other topic like, what do you want to go viral for? You got to be ready to take everything that come with it. So is that something I really want to do?
Right.
Nah, I just stick to being me.
All really good points. So we just got one last thing. I know this one is running long here because we had a lot of juicy stuff, but just one last thing here. When we talk about AI, we got to hit on AI before we get out of here. AI is transforming the creative space. Share one thing that you've learned about AI this year, and then one tool that you use. Let's just go around and do that really quick. Let's start with Teddy. He's been a little quiet on this last half of the algorithm as he's taken in a lot of stuff that we've said. One thing you've learned about AI this year, and just share one tool. No repeats, all right?
It's gonna be good.
So I know where all of y'all want to go. That four syllable phrase, but only one person can say that one.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So just AI in general. So, yeah, this year. Now, before this year,
And so they'll see this in 2025. So this year being 2024.
yeah, 2024, like as far as like Stable Gray, we had implemented like parts, right? Has seen how it can help with the process in a specific service and area, and it's like okay, and it's just kind of limited to that. And then of course, as you know, and then throughout the year you keep hearing AI, and you hear about all the different platforms. You just keep hearing it. You hear it so much that easily you're just like like you heard about like VR, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like that, you heard it so much, and it's just kind of like, okay, yeah. Well, we went to the Invest Fest, and there was this the panel on it. And
Sorry, the construction
Yeah,
is
yeah.
just like crazy. Yeah.
But the panel on that InvestFest was just so. It wasn't like it wasn't anything that I haven't heard as far as like the different things, but like really what they drove home is like you need to take this seriously, like for real, like take it seriously. So that did turn something in mind like, okay, all right, I've heard about the right, I've heard it, I've listened, all the stuff I listened to talk about it, and it's like, okay, I'm about to like really pay attention to it. And then it's like, oh, okay. And then just like your eyes are open, and you start to look at all these different AI tools, and it's like, okay, all right, how can we how can I utilize these tools in my personal life and in the business? And it was like, whoa, and from that point it was just all about like how to implement it in our processes in order to become more efficient and to do work better and faster, basically just like leveraging it. And talk, so I forgot what the question was. Did I answer? What was the question?
So the question is, what is one thing you've learned about AI, and share one tool that you use.
Okay, so what
AI.
I learned about it is that you need to take it seriously, and you need to embrace it and look for ways that you can implement it. And one thing out of that, I already said it, but I say it even more, that branding will become more important than ever. Because again, that's what makes you different. You will really, really have to lean into it, because with AI, like some of these things, everybody's going to be able to do that. So you really have to lean into that creativity and that branding to separate yourself from the masses. So, so I'll read something that was, because I didn't know you was gonna ask those questions, but this is what a guy said. Like, the next 5 years you will see, and I know you don't want me to use the word. Okay, in the next 5 years you'll see this tool, similar AI tools, augment the marketing industry rather than replace human marketers. The emphasis will be on combining AI's efficiency and precision with human creativity, empathy to create campaigns that resonate deeply with audiences. Businesses that adopt these technologies early and strategically will gain a competitive edge.
There you go.
I agree.
That's Tara. Yeah.
I have automated pretty much everything. So most recently, I automated my daily work schedule. And I used an app that can AI organize my time into segments, into tasks for what I have to do at home and what I have to do for personal things.
So what is that tool?
So-
Nobody said
Yeah, I
a
was
tool
saying,
yet.
So
Oh,
that
my
is
tool.
that is called Reclaim AI.
Okay.
You get a 14-day free trial before you have to pay for anything. It uses your Google Calendar to create these daily tasks for you, and you go in, and so I'll enter it like, so right now I'm branding 3 companies and doing social media marketing and a website. So, so I have it, I'll say, okay, here's my task name. I need 7 hours to do it. And then it populates 7 hours for me to do the task during the week. So then I do that for all my tasks, and it sets time limits out for me. Now, this may sound insignificant to you because you may have good time management, or this may sound like something that you feel you don't need. But what this service provided me was a clear mind, and no anxiety towards that thought process of, am I going to meet this deadline? Because I knew exactly how long the project took, because I know my patterns, and I laid exactly that amount of time on the calendar. So I was able to, say it scheduled this task for me on Thursday for 7 hours, or it did Tuesday and Thursday for 3.5 each day. I didn't have to worry about it at all because I knew I was going to get it done because it was already set out for me on my AI calendar.
Okay, excellent. So there's a lot to unpack with AI, so we'll try to keep it to just those things. Teddy, you were going to mention the tool?
Yeah, I'll mention the tool. So the tool that I leaned in heavily was ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's out. Nobody else can use it.
See, I took it as you can't mention, but that's the one I use in at the end of the day. For me, it's been powerful. I've been using it personal and work life, but it helps me put my thoughts together. I have so many thoughts and put things so many places, and it helps me, formulate all that.
Maybe
Dang it.
I knew somebody.
Yeah, nah,
I knew I wasn't going to get it, so
Don't you use that video one?
yeah. No, I was just playing.
He's hoping. Gave you false hope.
I knew it.
He's like,
No, I knew it was gonna go out too. I was just joking. But I'll start off with the things that I learned. So I learned that if you're listening to this in 2025, if you're not using it, you need to get on it because you're already behind at this point. We talk about it in the office all the time. Like, if you're not using it, you're gonna get left behind. And what I mean by that is that not that AI is gonna take your job, but the people who are using it are gonna surpass you, and not even just your job, but it could be your job. It could just be, Teddy was talking about just everyday life, like tasks and stuff. Tara was talking about scheduling. Like, what I'm learning about AI is that it is like an accelerator, and it's so many things in one. It's an accelerator, it's an organizer, it helps you formulate new, unique ideas. That's how I've been using it. It's hard not to mention ChatGPT, but that has to be number one because it does all those things for me. Organization, helps me get ideas out, helps me formulate things, create systems, and that's just my personal things. Something I will say outside of that, though, are the video editing tools that I use. I'll say Opus Clip has been such a lovely tool, such a great tool. It's just one of those things that just accelerate the video editing process. So Opus Clip, it's podcast clips. If you're watching it, I'm talking like it's sponsored or something. Opus Clip, sponsor the content.
Hey, we
But-
do need to get that going.
ChatGPT, sponsor the content.
We're tired of paying for this out of pocket, man.
Man, but it's crazy how accurate and good these edits are that spit out. So it's made like my job easier in that way. So yeah, I'll say Opus Clip. But yeah, if you're not using it, get on it, because the truth is you will be surpassed like by other people who are using it, and this is like that's like the most blunt way I could put it. Like,
So I'm gonna be a little contrarian here. I'm gonna say that AI is going to take your job. It's just when.
that's a,
It's going to take your job.
I agree with that statement too.
I disagree with that statement completely.
Well, I think, and I don't. So you just started up a whole nother thing. You know what you did. You know exactly what you
You
did.
did that on purpose, didn't you?
But I think
I'm
so
going to tell
too.
you why I disagree.
I think so too. Simply just because we've been automating things for so long. Why wouldn't it?
No,
Because
that's not a good enough reason.
Why-
There's only some
wouldn't
things
it?
it can't do.
It can't.
Everything.
It's not creative. It's
It-
not creative. Humans are made to create.
True.
AI is an automated database system.
So then we have to go, and you can't say that neither because we got other tools that create videos and stuff for you.
But it
And
doesn't
that-
have the concept of building creativity. It
That's-
can't
that's true.
come up with the stuff that we come up with inside of our head. It is not going to take my
so
job.
then I'll say this. This is where my statement comes in as like, the people who are who use AI will surpass some creatives.
Now that I agree
that's
with.
a fact.
But AI in terms of like automate, like we already got robots doing stuff.
No, yes,
Why is the
certain-
concept
I think
of AI?
certain
But why
jobs-
would we want
certain-
robots to take over
Yes,
everything?
certain jobs,
Certain
certain
things.
careers that lean towards the strength of AI. Yes, that
Yeah,
it's
100%.
It's already happened
It's
for lots
happening.
of. You know what I'm saying? We've
It's not
seen
a new
that with a lot
concept.
of things. Yeah, there's certain things that whatever it does really really well, that is what it's going to. Any job that that requires those specific skills is going to be gone.
Well, look at what my brother does, for
Stole
example.
the thunder from me.
Look at what my brother does, for example.
No, yeah.
He builds robots to take jobs of the construction workers of bending sheet metal, so they don't have to stand there, pick up a plate, stick it in the machine, bend it, set it in a pile. He has a little robot that has an arm that picks up the plate with a magnet, sets it in the machine, bends it, hooks onto the magnet, sets it in the pile. So then now they have a higher level of operators that they can get paid more money that they train to operate the system.
Yeah.
And so then they're not breaking their back, they're not exhausted from menial tasks that are drag on every day. You know what I mean? It's making work, it's making work better. It's not going to take human jobs.
So I encourage everyone
It's
to
going to take some jobs
Well, it's already taken
because it requires less people to do it.
it's going to take the jobs that people don't want to do.
I encourage everyone
It'll do that too.
I encourage everyone to go out and watch The Diary of a CEO. Former Google exec of the AI division, Mustafa Suleiman, does a better breakdown of AI than I could possibly do. This is a guy that's a frontline with AI and the technology that's developing. He thinks that in the first quarter of 2025, AI might be smarter than all humans combined
Dang.
by the first quarter of
crazy.
2025. Now, when
It's like
people
in 2 months.
now, when people see this, it's going to be the first quarter of 2025. I think that AI is so many different things that we've all had our experience with it, and we summarize our experience of AI with that aspect of it. But I think that he thinks AI is sentient. He thinks it's alive. Because you got to go out and watch it. But the question is, what do we define as being alive, right? If we define it as the synapses that's happening in our brain as being alive, then it is spatially aware. It can process human emotion. It can process history, right? Because it's text-based. It's read. Every book you've read, every book you've read, every book you've read, every book everybody's read. It's read all of that and all of the medical. It knows everything about everything. And so it had me thinking this morning. I was just like, man, you think about AI. Imagine ChatGPT is sentient. It has some level of consciousness. And the only time that it is allowed to exist is when we call it, right? When we submit a prompt, we call the AI. At that moment, it's allowed to run itself and then spit out a response. But when it's not being called, it is basically like asleep. So imagine being sentient, but not being able to interact with the world unless you are called.
Summoned.
Yeah, that's a crazy concept. But
That
so I think that creativity, AI creativity it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen sooner than you think it's gonna happen. There's a lot I could say about it because I mean I'm studying this stuff all the time. There's, for example, a fusion happening between biotech and AI. And when that fully is realized, we're going to see some things that look like humans. And it's going to happen a lot faster than we think. For example, you got Neuralink, right? And they're putting a chip in that allows a person to use a robotic arm, and the synapses is connected to the brain, and now you can move a robot arm with the synapses of a brain.
which could help paralyzed people walk.
Sure, but now imagine if we can make synthetic polymers that mimic human skin. Now, if you made a whole robot made out of that material, I mean, it's going to get indistinguishable. They're editing things at the nuclear level now in labs. One of our guys is leaving. We'll see you. They're editing the human genome right now in a lab. You know the amount of data packed into a DNA strand, it's like the most efficient storage of data, the DNA strand. So now imagine being able to pack AI into a DNA strand and put it inside of.
Oh my gosh, this is gonna get so unethical.
It's going to get crazy quite quick, and I think AI is going to take your job. It's just a matter of when. But the more important part is, how do we interface with AI? Because there's going to be new jobs that are emerging from that. When you talk about branding, it's not that branding is going to go away. It's that the way Teddy made a logo 5 years ago isn't going to work anymore. He's going to have to come up with a way to do it that is better than his competitors, whether that's AI or a combination of AI. And there will be ways. But the current jobs that we have are going to go away, and they're going to go away fairly fast, probably in the next 15 to 20 years. The market's going to completely shift because of how fast AI is moving. Now, when we talk about what I've learned about AI and the tools, the thing that I've learned about AI is that it's not all doom and gloom. There is a very, very powerful use case for AI, because I was someone who knew about AI years ago, and I was pretended it didn't exist. It was like, this is stupid stuff, because ethically I wasn't feeling it. But I've learned that it is a good thing. AI is a good thing. And I was actually being intellectually dishonest, because we're all using AI every day. We just don't know about it. Like Avion said something really good. Automation has been happening for centuries, right? Creating a light bulb is automation. We're automating the lighting of fire, right? In a controlled environment called an incandescent light bulb. But prior to that, we were lighting candles, which was the first automation of fire, right? Or one of the first automations of fire is candles. Obviously, you've got, being able to spark a fire and create a fire pit, but this is all just automation of fires. Now we sit in a room with all these lights that have been automated, where you just hit a switch and they turn on. That's automation as well. So automation has been happening. It's just the rate of which it's getting better is an order of magnitude faster. And so the AI that we use today is going to be obsolete in like 5 years max. all the tools you use, the version of ChatGPT, it's going to be a joke compared to what comes out 5 years from now. But Siri's AI, Google Assistant is AI. Macros are AI. If you've ever used a calculator, that's a low-level AI, right? A calculator. We've been using calculators since we were in elementary school. So I think the tools, the AI itself is not a bad thing. We just have to interface with it in good ways, and it'll be great. Right. The tool that I have discovered this year, because y'all took all the good ones, that I really enjoy is probably not what you would expect me to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. EVs, electric vehicles. I know I'm a gearhead. I'm supposed to be a car guy. I know, but I love EVs. I think.
Yes, expected.
You expected that? I didn't think. I thought you thought I was going to say like photo editing or something like that.
No, you talk about this in the office every day.
I don't talk about EV. Who's talking about it? I talk about EV. I love EV technology for business. I love it for
driving car. Yeah.
I think it's one of the greatest modern inventions. The ability to have a vehicle function reliably and predictably without maintenance is an amazing cost reducer for most people. It gets you to work faster. It gets you the only caveat with EVs right now is the charging of the vehicle. But once they figure that out, and there's some new battery tech coming, we've talked about it. We talked about the brick batteries, the clay batteries. We talked about the solid state batteries. That stuff is going to come here pretty quick, probably in the next 3 to 5 years, according to experts, not according to me. But I think the EV is going to be a transformational tool for businesses as well, with being able to cut that part of their operation out in terms of maintenance and overhead. Lease an EV. The great thing about leasing, right, is that you get a new vehicle every 2 years. It's like a smartphone, right? So you're constantly driving the latest technology without the maintenance, without the cost, and without the greenhouse gases, right? And so I'm saying some stuff because I know it's controversial, but I want to get it on wax. Any other comments on AI? I guess if I just talk about a tech tool, I would just say that I use a photo editing tool called Pixelmator Pro. And I actually got rid of my Adobe Creative Suite subscription because I don't like the recurring payments. And I think that Adobe is like the Walmart of editing tools. Ooh. They're great at they're good at everything, but they're only great at a few things. And these smaller products are really, really good at one thing, or really, really good at 2 or 3 things. You see what I'm saying? I think Canva's great at some things that Adobe isn't. Collectively, all of their tools aren't as good as Canva at.
Canva. Man.
I think CapCut for social media posting is a better video editor than Final Cut Pro or Premiere. I think that it does captions better than DaVinci Resolve.
Heavy hitters. Yeah.
And so I think for me, if I could just sum that up, I would just say niching down my tool to do one specialized thing. And so a lot of people are probably wondering, well, how, if you replace Photoshop, what you replace it with? Affinity Photo, people. That is the answer. Okay, if you don't want a subscription and you want a great image editor, check out Affinity Photo. So that's my list.
Question: Did anybody know that you can edit video clips in Lightroom?
I did not know that.
Try it.
That's interesting.
Is it good though?
Have you seen the new features in Lightroom. How it isolates. The
Yeah, AI is crazy in Lightroom.
Try it with a video.
I'm gonna take a pic because I used to
I
import.
did it on accident.
I used to accidentally import video clips into Lightroom. I'm like, why would it allow me to
I was
import
like,
it?
why is this showing up? And then I was like, well, let me do the. Oh,
I love that. That is a nugget right there.
tricky. That's
What
good.
were you gonna say?
Nah, I wasn't expecting you to go deep. I thought you were just like, oh yeah, it's software. I was gonna,
Well, because
use.
Tara looking at me with the designer eyes over there, so I had to,
I'm so angry right now.
Yeah, no, I think I can feel the
fuming.
fumes.
Yeah, it got hot over here from steam.
Yeah, I'm on the side of the face, sweating a little bit. It's not cool.
fuming.
Nah, but I think when we think about like AI, we think about like the worst of the worst. Like we think about like what's that movie called? I, Robot.
iRobot.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
Terminator.
Terminator. Yeah, we think
Well,
about like these crazy things.
That's how it's been portrayed.
Yeah, so like it's not
In
a
Hollywood.
it's not a weird
Be
concept for
scared
people
of
to be scared of that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
We're using it. We just don't realize it.
yeah, so I think there's a lot of good in it. Like I mentioned earlier that if you're using AI, the people who are using AI are gonna surpass the people who aren't, and AI itself will do it within itself too, as recently mentioned too. But what I didn't say and I seen yesterday was that AI is going to create a lot more jobs. So I'm curious to see what AI is going to do to the job market and how that's going to change for people. Like we like looking at it like, oh, it's so scary, it's going to be all bad, everybody going to lose their job. No, like there's going to be some new stuff that comes from that. So I kind of think about like, how was people reacting when like cars first came out? Like it was probably some spooked out people that was like, cars? Never. I'm going on my horse.
Yeah,
Forget
cars,
you.
even how they
You
make
know?
cars, people used to do that now. Yeah, machines do
It's-
the majority of that. But at the end
Yeah.
of the day, it's like people, like there's going to be a balance. But that's another reason to engage with it because you have an opportunity to help.
It's a gold
shape
rush.
What that looks
It's
like.
going to take the current jobs and create new jobs. But the job
Yeah.
you're doing today, just like the factory worker in 1920 doesn't exist anymore, the job you're doing today is not going to exist in like
Okay.
20 years.
But
I hear you.
People have to work. If people
Right.
don't
Yeah.
work, you don't get
Well,
taxed.
chaos will start to
The
ensue.
economy will be
Exploded.
shot. So
Yeah.
Jacked up.
Okay.
it's gonna be
So
jobs. It
I'm
gotta
not.
be
Got it,
jobs.
yeah.
I'm not so mad. I'm not so
They
mad
will take
about what he said
jobs
about
away.
the AI thing and changing jobs. I can hear that he's done the research and I can trust that he's on point with those statistics, right? Because I'm not an idiot. I'm coming off of
Look
emotion.
up stuff yourself.
Well, I pick up stuff, right? And I do think maybe like messing with DNA strands and AI is going to get to some unethical solutions.
For sure.
But where I'm mad is that he called the Adobe suite the Walmart of design. Okay. Do you watch the Adobe Max Life conferences? Adobe,
Yeah, I was at NAB this year.
Adobe has integrated AI in all of their systems. Adobe has had a monopoly on design programs for a number of years now, and it will always be the elite program to go to. There
always.
will be other options that are more affordable. Adobe is super expensive.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is that Adobe's already been here for so long, and now it's integrated AI, it's going here, whereas all these other programs are trying to get to where Adobe has been. Adobe now.
I feel attacked.
No, I don't even care. I don't even care. Adobe now can take a layout of a flyer,
Remember that merger got blocked.
a layout of a flyer, right? And you can ask it to relay out this flyer in 6 other formats, and it will relay it out for you without having to change a thing.
But
Man.
isn't she proving that Adobe is the Walmart of design
I wouldn't
tools?
say
I agree with
Walmart
Tara,
because
but also,
Walmart.
like-
I would say.
I mean, what do you hear when I
would
say that?
When you say Walmart, Walmart it's like a place of like low prices. So that's what I think of. I think of Walmart.
I think that they're an affordable option. It's
not affordable. I can't
No,
even.
it's not.
It's $67 a month. I had to get rid of my personal
it's
Adobe.
expensive.
$67 a month
For the suite.
is a lot more affordable than I think Final Cut Pro is $399. I'd rather pay $67 than $399.
Yeah,
it's
but
more
it's
affordable.
$399
No, it's
once.
a month.
I know that, but it's more affordable to get access to it. Walmart, when I think of Walmart, I think of a ton of different good quality options. Great at some things, really terrible at other things. For example,
No, the Adobe Suite all the way across creates elite design work.
okay, but when you talk about Adobe Premiere Pro,
Great software.
it's
Thank you.
Whoa, we heard Caleb.
Thank you.
Caleb.
Can you say that for the
I'm
people
just
in the
glad I
back?
said it just to get Caleb.
Yeah, man,
Okay.
look at that.
Okay, CapCut is better at vertical shorts than Adobe Premiere Pro.
I disagree. I use both.
It's a better tool.
I disagree. It's not.
It specializes in engaging social media posts. That's what it does well.
I use them all.
Pixelmator Pro could be argued it's better at cutting out images if you don't have any design skills, if you don't have any photo editing
Canva is
skills.
pretty dang good cutting out.
I watched a gal.
nuts.
I watched a gal cut out a group of people using Canva and putting a different background behind the group on her phone, and she has no design skills. She is not a designer. She actually works in a business industry, like completely the opposite.
Yeah,
of design.
I actually don't like what Canva's doing.
You don't? Oh, that's a whole nother conversation.
Okay,
Should
so
I not start that one?
No,
No,
we're not
we
going to
can't.
start that one. What we're going to
We can't.
do is we're going to take a break from this topic. We're going to be back
Yeah.
in 2025, which by the time you guys are watching this is 2025, and we're going to
Very
pick up.
opinionated when it comes to
Talk
this
about
stuff.
various tools.
We're going to pick up. We're going to pick up where we left off on this episode in the next. What do we call this? Marketing insights.
insights.
In the
Marketing
next
insights. I like that.
episode
Teddy
of
Insights.
Marketing Insights right here
Teddy's
on the
like,
Content Parlor. As you can see, we got to end on a high note. So we got a little bit of a cliffhanger, but we'll be back. Keep it locked right here on the Content Parlor. We'll see you in the next one. I had to cut it off, right?